this was kind of the main topic for this episode because I get a lot of questions about does TikTok still work? You know, I'm not getting views, blah, 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 whatever. And so, you know, for anybody who follows my content, they know that I'm always preaching personal brand, you know, niche, all this kind of stuff. So this is 4 TikTok niches that are just really crushing it right now. And hopefully this will help people kind of understand the distinction between what most creators are doing versus what they should be doing when it comes to TikTok. So first we're going to jump into reactions. This is the first one right here.
To the men who like watching sport, but not the female version of it. Maybe you don't actually like sport. Maybe you just like watching half-naked men run around playing with balls.
No, it's just because female sports aren't entertaining. Ladies, if you want to support women's sports, get your ass up and go to the game.
Okay, now the reason that's such a good strategy, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can create reactions to. But the reason why this is good in particular is because she's basically making the argument from 99% of what men are already thinking when they see stuff like that. So any man that watches this is going to look at this and they're going to be like, oh, you know, she really gets me. She gets it, you know. And she's going to build the most diehard, loyal fan base, chances are she doesn't, she's saying it purely for tactical and, tactical marketing reasons. But she's very aware of what she's doing. She's very aware that she's speaking from the man's point of view, or at least, the typical man's point of view.
But that's who her audience is. She's trying to attract a male viewer.
That's my point.
So, yeah.
That's
Very
my point.
smart.
Not only is she going to get a ton of traffic and fans from men, but these are going to be the most diehard, loyal fans that you can possibly imagine, because men just go to bed dreaming about a girl who thinks like that.
Well, and to kind of tie this back to the first thing we talked about, the breastfeeding thing. So this creator is saying things that are not, a lot of women would not agree with what she's saying at all. And she may not even agree with what she's saying, but she's trying to attract a male viewer. She's willing to say things and piss people off, and she's reaping the benefits of that. She's willing to do it.
Yeah,
a lot of women wouldn't be willing to say a lot of this shit.
Exactly. She's kind of going against the typical, feminist mold and speaking from the man's point of view, which is going to get her a diehard, loyal fan base from men. And so she's got, just a ton of reactions like that. And I'm sure she's just getting a ton of fans from this type of content. And the other good thing about this type of content is that it works good on all platforms. Like some types of content, they only work good on TikTok or they only work good on YouTube or whatever. In her case, this type of content works really good on TikTok. It works really good on Instagram, works really good on YouTube. And I would be highly, highly surprised if she's doing anything less than $200,000 per month from this type of content.
Yeah, she's killing it.
So
good for her.
Shout out to Riley May. Okay, the next one here, this is kind of an undercover niche that to me just seems, it's one of those things that you probably want to actually enjoy it to some degree.
I love when I stumble upon these ones because I'll be like, oh, look, this is so cool. And then I go to their links and I'm like, she has an OnlyFans. She's fucking killing it. Yeah,
so let me just...
Look at her. Okay, she's gorgeous to begin with, and then she's, talented. I want to make some pottery.
Yeah, so I've been seeing more and more pottery TikTok accounts from OnlyFans creators, And I think this is just another really good way to go about it. I mean, it's obviously safe for work. The odds of you getting banned for creating like content like this is almost zero, I would say. And, it's not going to be super, super viral all the time, but overall, I mean, she's doing really, really well.
Well, and she's not like even over sexualizing it at all. Like she's wearing overalls here, totally. She doesn't have like a lot of her body showing at all. She's just gorgeous and making these incredible pieces of pottery.
Yeah, so nice.
I think that
job.
undercover is a really good undercover OnlyFans marketing. Smart.
Yeah. So pottery, awesome niche. I mean, obviously it helps if you love doing that, because then that is one of those niches that's like, do what you're passionate about, and yeah, you can make money if you're passionate about that.
I'm gonna get a pottery wheel or whatever those are called, and I'm gonna be fucking terrible at it.
But yeah, I mean,
I'll keep you posted on
that. I think that's a great niche. Okay, so the next one here. Okay, so this one, obviously you have to be a little more on the extroverted side for this.
Guys are like, sit on my face. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm pear-shaped. If I actually sat on your face, I'd break your nose, Steve.
So she just has a lot of content like that, where she's basically just making jokes. Like a lot of them are even like dad jokes. That's just like, and if you're telling kind of those like dad joke type of things, I mean, you're gonna build a pretty dedicated, loyal audience. Like, basically, all of these niches, maybe not necessarily pottery, but these types of niches, specifically the reaction one, are the ones like, if a guy's watching your content and thinking, oh, she gets it, she thinks just like I do, like he's going to be the most loyal type of fan that you could have. So she's just making these like little dad jokes that can bring in a lot of those types of fans too. Okay, the last one here. This is another one that's popular, but still like really underused, I think, which is, of course, ASMR. But there are certain ways to do it. And the way that she's doing it is just sickening if you look at the amount of views she's getting on all of her stuff. 1.5, 300, 400, 1.4, 400, 400, 500, 1.2, 800, like every single video is just getting a sickening amount of views. So the way that she does this, if we just look at one.
Focus on my finger. Very good. Now what colour is this light? Good. And is it the same on this side? Good. And is the brightness on this side the same? And I propose a trade. You see, I'll do some light triggers for you if you go.
So the way that she's doing this is not like the standard ASMR. Specifically, the way that this girl does it, where she's doing this kind of like little light therapy, and kind of just like, almost like a medical nurse, where she's just like, kind of talking you through this. Look at this stuff, like ear cleaning, haircut, eye test, all this kind of stuff. And people just love this. So
Please look at my nose.
Yeah, there's just a ton of people that absolutely love this type of thing. And the way that she's doing it is just consistently every single video.
Yeah, she's hitting on every single one.
Like, most of us would love to have a number like this once per month. Hers, every single video. It's crazy.
I've never seen this girl before. That's interesting. That just goes to show how big the fucking
And
internet is.
what's interesting though is I'm seeing a lot of people with a similar style to this doing this, and they're all hitting crazy numbers. Not everyone, but a good percentage of people are hitting huge numbers with that type of ASMR. So really good niches that I think are being underused.
I think they're all brilliant. I'm not kidding. I need to start pottery.
I think the pottery one would be cool, and I think you could do
I
well
think
with
that would be really good for me because I need to like kind of sit and be quiet and like do my own thing, like pay tedious attention to something. Like that's really good for me.
Yeah,
and I just don't do it often enough.
I think that would be a great hobby for you. You could get a ton of traffic with it, and that would probably perform incredibly well doing TikTok lives.
I'll keep you guys posted on that. Not kidding. I'm going to get a pottery wheel.
So there you have it. A few awesome niches there. Okay. Which, by the way, if you guys want to know how I kind of track all of these trends and all of these accounts and stuff like that, I'm going to have a link for that down below, which is the tool that I use to basically identify and track all of the best creators and trends and stuff like that. So you guys can check that out if you want.